Perfect. All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Harrison. My colleague Jordan is also in this call. We are both on the sales team here at AdWerx. We work with training agents, individual agents, as well as helping to set up campaigns, answer questions, stuff like that. So today, we're going to cover a couple different types of ads that you can run with AdWerx, specifically ads for listings, ads by zip code, and ads for your sphere. So to start out, I kind of just wanted to give you guys a little intro of what AdWerx is, how we fit into C21. We are a brand awareness marketing platform. So you have the ability to run a variety of different kinds of ads with us to promote you as yourself, as your business, as well as any properties or listings that you have. And there's a couple main routes to do this. We'll kind of just jump right in. One of the main routes that you can utilize with AdWerx would be ads for your sphere. This is typically used for somebody who's got an established network already, has a contact list either from your CRM or your past clients, your friends, and your family. How this works is we would put them all into a campaign. We would make sure that that is the only audience that sees your ad. The point of it is to follow them around online when they're on ESPN or they're on New York Times or Food Network or pretty much anywhere on the internet. We're going to make sure we put your little digital business card in front of them when they're doing their casual browsing. The point of this is to stay top of mind all the time, increase referrals, increase repeat business, etc. Jordan, do you have anything to add about sphere campaigns? I'm going to pull up an example too.
No, I think you did a great job covering it. Obviously, one of the most important things that all of you know, it's very important to stay in front of the people who already know, like, and trust you. You can spend a lot of time trying to get new business and get in front of people who may not know you yet. And there's obviously tremendous value in that as well. But when you're looking at highest ROI in terms of engagement, if you can get in front of people who already know you and want to help you grow your business, want to refer people to you, and want to use you again, that's obviously going to be very important for just long-term growth as an agent.
Thank you, Jordan. I'm just getting an example pulled up here. Dana, I'm going to use your account because you've got nothing in there, so we can just create some drafts to show everybody.
Okay.
So this is what your account will look like when you guys log in. It'll say at the top, welcome with your first name. These are all the different kinds of ads right here that we can run. So we're going to mainly cover today this first one, ads by zip code. We already talked about ads for sphere. We'll go over listings, briefly touch on these as well. Now, as far as ads for your sphere, super easy to set up. We can come in here, just enter your name and location. It'll pull up some info that we can find from you already. You don't have to pick this stuff. You can enter everything in manually, but this is just to help out. All right, so this is your ad design. You guys through C21 have a pretty nice template, an option between two different ones. So this one is more of a updated version, whereas this other one is an older version. However, you have a little bit more freedom to put in some more word choice, like a tagline if you have one or anything like that. Now, cool thing about this is you can change your ad up at any time. So if you decided like, hey, I really like this design for the first couple of months of my campaign, but I really want to switch it up and get a new fresh design, you can always go back to the separate one. Now, obviously, all this stuff in here you can change out. Scroll down a little bit. Yep, pictures, office logos, if you guys have a specific office logo, stuff like that. Any questions about ad design?
Does it create it that quick? Like you just went in, you clicked on this, and suddenly it was there. Is that real time?
That is real time. Yep, that is from scratch. This is the first time I went into your account, Dana. So that's what I said when it pulls up that info, it kind of gives you a recommendation. You can pick those and it'll pull that info like it did for you. Sometimes it won't be able to find any info, or you'll just have to do it manually. Still a very simple process. It'll be the template like this, and you'll just have to come in and you go down here, scroll and put your pictures in, change your colors up, stuff like that. When you put an office logo in too, the cool thing is it'll update the colors to align with them a little bit better.
And then one other question is, how does it know that it's going to be an ad for my sphere? Where does that part of that come into play?
Yep, so that'll be the next stage of this.
Okay.
So one other thing I should point out here is that you guys have the ability to upload your own ads. So if you have somebody in your office or you are very creative, you can create your own ad designs and upload them. Super simple, just like this process is. Come in here and it'll give you 4 different sizes that you would need. One will be for websites, one will be for mobile apps, one will be banner ads like at the top of websites, and then one is a Facebook size as well. Jordan, anything to add about ad designs?
No, I think you covered it all. Again, the goal of the template is ease of access. It's very simple. You don't have to do anything other than input the text that you want in there. But again, if you want more customization, what Harrison is alluding to here, you can upload your own ad and build out a fully custom branded ad to look exactly the way that you want it to look. So both options are great options.
Yeah. Thanks, Jordan. So this is where you would upload your own ad designs. You can see all the different sizes are in here. And if this is something you guys are interested in doing, we can always send out these sizes as well. Okay. Just bear with me for a second. So as this is loading, I'll kind of start talking ahead. The next process of this is connecting a Facebook page. So you guys have the unique ability now to connect Facebook business pages. What that does for you is when your ad shows up on Facebook feeds, instead of it, previously it would say local real estate as the sponsored title. This will be sponsored under your Facebook business page. So that gives people another link to access some of your content, whether that be on just clicking directly to your Facebook business page. Now, the cool part about this too is that it's not going to have any other indication on your business page that this ad is running. So people won't know if this is still for your sphere. This is just going to follow around those contacts. So once they go on Facebook, it'll be on their Facebook news feed, but it won't be reaching any other audiences. Now, as far, there it is. Yep. So I'm not going to do this now, but it's a very easy process also. Now, this part is destination page. So when somebody clicks on your ad, where do we want to send them? There's a couple different popular options. One would be a bio page that you guys have set up. Another would be a website. Some people will set up landing pages with a what's your home worth, where people have to enter in their info. And in turn, you guys on the back end can then go out and contact those individuals. I have some people that will even do a digital calendar link to book some times, or even custom blogs that they make. So you can get really creative when it comes down to the destination page. This is often something that is overlooked. And this is just as important, if not more important, than everything else in the ad. Because once we take them somewhere, you know, we don't want that to drop off.
Harrison or Jordan, have you seen a specific URL have more success than another, like their personal website versus a bio page versus a landing page that is uniquely created? Like, where have you guys seen the most success?
I'll go first. So I would say that bio pages are less likely to have better performance. Reason being is it's just not as creative. Most people do their bio page. I'm seeing better success typically with people that set up landing pages with like a what's your home worth or some type of call to action where somebody has to do something on your website instead of just being able to browse around, because that kind of tends to be where the drop off happens then. Does that make sense, Dana?
Yeah. Like the what's your home worth would be that call to action.
Exactly.
And interestingly, we just started using a platform called HomeBot, and that link could be added to the agent's website, their own website, that then it takes that client right to what's your home worth, which then puts them in the agent's database right away. So a lot of things could happen here, but that was helpful information. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a perfect idea. That is ideally how this would work. So that's perfect. Jordan, anything to add about this?
Yeah, just highlighting again, the call to action is the most important piece of creating a landing page. So it comes down to what the goal is. One thing that I'm not a fan of is sending them to a landing page that does not have any information on the individual agent, because this works as two parts. Part one is just branding in general, connecting a name and face to an agent and having that top of mind awareness. The second part is then again trying to get information, get someone to book time with you, get an email address, that type of thing. So I think both pieces are important. Again, I'm always just highlight that because we don't want to send them to a page that's completely just, hey, get a free home report, and it has nothing to do with the agent at all. Because a lot of the times people buy from people and they want to work with people. So highlighting again that you are an individual agent, you can help them, the report is customized to them, definitely helps.
Yeah, thanks, Jordan. All right, guys. So this is, Dana, what you had mentioned about a sphere campaign. So this is the unique part of a sphere. At this page, we will upload a list of your contacts' email addresses. We don't need anything else other than their email addresses. So we don't need names, phone numbers, home addresses, anything like that. We're never going to send them a single email. We're only using that email address so that we can track their desktops, their phones, their iPads, all the devices that they're on, and make sure that we put your ad in front of those specific people. Now you can update this list whenever you want. You can take people out. You can add in additional people. The stipulations are that files will have to be a CSV or an Excel. You can also copy or paste individuals, or you can do a Gmail import. Now, this says tip include at least 500 contacts for optimal delivery. I would say that it doesn't have to be around 500. I would say that 300 is a good minimum. I wouldn't do anything less than 300 to have a good, successful campaign. Any questions about contact uploads? Creating your audience?
What if somebody doesn't have this contact list?
Yeah.
Is this a step that can be skipped, or what's the easiest way to do it? Like cell phone export or your personal email export? Like what's the easiest way for someone to get these contacts if they don't have it?
Could you repeat that question? I'm not sure I understood.
Yeah, yes, no problem. So if I'm an agent, let's say, and I've been doing real estate for, I don't know, 5 years, 20 years, however long.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have, me personally, I'm a notebook person. I never kept an Excel file of all of my contacts. I really have no idea where I would find all these people's email addresses because I just am not that tech savvy. And how do I even begin to get started? What's the easiest way for me to put together 300 email addresses?
Yeah, great question. So typically most people will have some sort of setup to begin with, if it's even a list of 30, 40 people. If you're having trouble gaining up to 300 contacts, a very popular option too is to export anything from your CRM. Do you guys have any leads that your office gives you? And to put those people in there until your sphere grows, because in that lead list, those are still people that you want to reach out to. And if you can get your face and name in front of them before you do other types of outreach or other types of touch points, that's just as good. Does that make sense, Dana?
Yeah, absolutely. I happen to know, because I've helped a couple of our agents with this, that you can go into your Gmail email address and you could export your contacts from your Gmail, which I'm sure you could do that from any email platform that you use. Like I have a very old email address. It's att.net. So very, very historic, but I'm still sure I could go into that and I could export just whoever's in there that are email addresses and start to use that at least to build on.
100%, definitely. And a nice part about this tool is that you guys don't have to worry about getting any duplicates. So if you have lists all over the place, or you do Gmail uploads plus a list upload and stuff, we're going to identify duplicates. We're also going to identify bad email addresses. So when we upload a list, let me do an example. Okay, so just that easy. My list is already uploaded. If you notice here, this says total uploaded 102. So that's going to be every identifiable email address that I uploaded. Above that says total unique emails right here, 102. So this is after we scrub for duplicates or bad inactive emails. So this number could be, it could be 50 if I had a bunch of duplicates. This will always take out those people, and it won't, use that as an advertising space. Jordan, anything to add about uploading contacts, creating an audience?
No, I think you got it covered. The Gmail thing, like Dana mentioned, is a big one. A lot of agents start there and just export from Gmail, and that's a starter list that gets you moving while you organize everything on the back end.
Yeah. Any questions about this, guys? Perfect. So the next step in this is selecting your views. So with the Sphere campaign, this is what you're priced on. Now, the lowest to do here is this first one that shows up, 2,500 views per month. If we put this into perspective with about 300 email addresses, it's going to split those views up among that 300 people. So that's approximately twice a week that those people would see your ad. Now, obviously, as you increase the contacts and have that same amount of views, the frequency just decreases. So if we had 2,500 people in here at 2,500 views a month, they would only see it about once a week. We're seeing typically the best success with these campaigns, hitting people 1 to 2 times a week, closer to that twice a week number. So that in mind, at the lowest level, 2,500 views per month, we would probably suggest about 300 to 350 at a maximum 400 contacts to see the best results. I wouldn't put in anything above 500 before you look at upping your views. Now, uniquely, you can up your views. So here, the next stage would be 3,750, 5,000, 10,000, and upwards. Obviously, you can pick any kind of views you want. So if you only had 300 people in your list, but you wanted them all to see it every day of the week, then you could just select
45 times a week.
Exactly. Yep. You could do that. Don't really suggest it. People might get annoyed with you and start calling you to stop having you advertise, but by all means, you could. Now, let me go back here, and the most important part, so pricing. AdWerx, with these types of campaigns, with any personal branding campaigns, you're going to have 3 options. One is going to be quarterly. So that's going to be 3 months. You guys get a 15% off discount through C21. You get the annual, which you get that 15% off discount. In addition to it, a little extra. And then there's a 2-year. Typically, we are pushing for the annuals. These types of campaigns, just being that it's brand awareness, it takes a little bit longer to really get moving and get going. On the quarterly side, if you only planned on running one of these ads for a single quarter, you're really not going to see much success out of them. I wouldn't even suggest it, especially with the Sphere campaign. This is definitely a long-term play.
Question.
Yep.
So this is going on Facebook, but it's going on their Facebook for Business, which I know my Facebook for Business is also connected to my Instagram. Does that mean that these same ads are going to show on both platforms, Instagram and Facebook for Business?
Great question. So we say no for the Instagram. I think we're a little bit lost because of the new Facebook updates that just happened. Sometimes, like the listing ads, for example, they will show up on Instagram, but the Sphere campaign or the other types of campaigns, personal branding, is either a hit or a miss, but the Facebook part is guaranteed. Jordan, do you have a better answer to that? Have you seen any recent updates on that?
No, I think it's important. We have the capability to get it there because Facebook and Instagram are partnered. Again, we know there's going to be exposure on Facebook. We don't have 100% assurance that it's going to be on Instagram, but I'm sure Harrison can speak to it. I see AdWerx ads on Instagram pretty often, especially the listing ads.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, of course. Does anybody have any questions about the Sphere campaign? This is pretty much just sums it up here at the end. No? Okay, perfect.
If you guys want to put things in the chat, you could do that too. And I'll read off the chat so that it makes it easier as we go along.
Yeah, that's perfect. All right, guys. Well, so that we covered Sphere. Now, that again, Sphere was for a specific audience of people. You know, you really want to reach a referral basis or a repeat business network. If you are more a newer agent or you want large outreach in a local area to you, ads targeted by zip code, this top one here, is going to be your best route to go. How these work is if you pick an individual zip code, anybody within that zip code that searches real estate or mortgage calculator, moving companies, anything that's related to the industry is going to opt them into your campaign, and you're going to follow them around just like those Amazon ads do. So to set the scene, let's say that right now I were to search on Google homes for sale and I was located in your zip code. And then later today, after I'm done my research, I go on ESPN to check the scores, or I go on Food Network to look at a recipe to cook for dinner. I'm going to start seeing your little ad pop up on those side spaces in those websites when I'm doing my browsing. And it's going to hit me multiple times throughout the week just to create that almost that initial handshake, right, before any other business is dealt with. Typically, you know, we're seeing that people do about 12 weeks of research before they reach out to an agent. So can you imagine how powerful it is if you can get in front of them week 1? And then you're in front of them for the next 12 weeks. By the time they're ready to reach out to an agent, you're going to be the only name they can think of.
So you're saying that the consumer, as they're looking online to choose a real estate agent, they're doing online research for up to 12 weeks before like reaching out to someone or selecting someone.
So not necessarily for a specific agent, but just the entire real estate search, whether I'm going to try to buy a house or I'm going to try to sell my house. We're seeing typically the average time span that people spend is about 12 weeks.
Okay. Good to know.
Now let's put one together. Show you guys how easy this is. Just as easy as the other one. All right. Now, unique thing about zip codes here. There is 10 total available spots in every zip code. And that is for every agent, not just C21, not just your office. It's for every agent in that area. Once they're sold out, they are sold out completely until somebody drops those spots. 5 of these spots, as you can see here listed, are going to be referred to as, let me zoom in here, as web ads. What this means to you is that your ad will only show up on people's desktops and laptop computers. The flip side of that, the mobile, that means your ad is going to show up on phones, tablets, iPads, any other mobile devices. And as you can see here, this side also includes the Facebook ads. The other big difference is going to be on the web side. Each one of these slots that you pick, that is 10,000 10,000 views per month, whereas the mobile side is 5,000 views per month. Now, typically in a perfect world, most agents will grab both because we don't know where our audience is going to be at. If you have a better perspective on your demographic, like for example, I live in Philadelphia in the city. A lot of people around me are a younger crowd. They're on the move a lot more, and we have great cell service. So I think mobile would likely work a lot better for me based on my audience versus if I was at my parents' house in the middle of North Carolina where there is nothing there and the service is horrible. More people are going to be on their desktops and laptops and stuff like that. So that's probably going to work a lot better for me. Any questions so far?
No, but this is really giving a great explanation of how this all works and what all these things mean. Like I'm learning so much. So thank you.
Good. I'm glad. I'm very glad. Now, another thing I do want to note real quick, guys, is that we're talking about these spots. You can pick multiple spots in a zip code. So if you're very competitive, which I know all you agents are very competitive, you could come in here and buy out this entire zip code and say, hey, I don't want anybody else on my team, in my office, around me to be able to advertise in this zip code. I want to be the only person. You can do that. All right. As far as ad design, this is going to be exactly the same as the Sphere campaign. You guys can make these updates whenever you want. You can choose between the two different templated options, anything like that, but it's going to be exactly the same as the Sphere campaign. The rest of this process is about the exact same as well. So connecting your Facebook and setting your destination page. Now, I'm sure as you saw when we were back on the zip codes, each one of these zip codes is going to be a different price. Now, this is based on population density, median home value, as well as just overall activity in that zip code. So these are fluctuating all the time. They can go up or they can go down. Typically, these are more of the higher price in this 99 slot, and these 68 are typically the lower. Now, that is based on a per month price right there, 99. But I want to reiterate, this is not a per month campaign. You still have these same options of quarterly, annual, or biannual.
Harrison?
Yep.
The prices, how they scale down from 99 to 76 to blah, blah, blah. Is that because of the population in each zip code, or what does that mean when one zip code is 99 and the other is 68?
Yeah, great question. So that just means that the $68 one would have less population density, would have a lower median home value, or would just have overall low activity online in that area. Jordan, do you have a better answer to that?
No, I think you just summarized it perfectly.
Yeah, that was helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, also one thing you'll note is that on that page where it said 99 and stuff, there's not going to be completely accurate because you guys still get that 15% off discount for all these campaigns. So don't really pay too much attention to when you're grabbing spots. It's really going to matter when you get to the checkout page. All right, so that covers zip codes. Jordan, do you have anything to add about zip codes? Did I miss anything?
No, I think the important thing to just highlight is, again, who is seeing these ads? It's people who are actively searching for real estate related keywords. So this isn't just going out into the abyss, being seen by anyone and everyone. It's specifically going to be placed in front of people who are using those real estate related keywords, buying a home, selling a home specific to the area that you're targeting.
Yep. Perfect. Any questions, guys? About Sphere or zip codes, it doesn't matter. All right, no worries. So we're going to go over listings, I think, next. I think that'll be the most beneficial. So the listing ads, these are something that you guys can do for each individual property you have. These are pretty nice to do. And before I even do that, I want to show you guys a little resource you have. So in your account, if you scroll down on this right-hand side, under quick links, you'll see a free listing pitch PDF and a free listing pitch video. If you go to this video here, it's going to pull up I might be able to just play it for you.
Sure.
1 second. Okay.
Hi, I'm Kelsey, your digital marketing specialist, and I'm here to talk to you about our online marketing strategy and how we plan to advertise and market your home. After listing your home with us, a custom digital advertisement will be created for your listing. This ad will be shown thousands of times to home buyers surrounding your property. Your home will be shown on Facebook and Instagram, as well as major websites like the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times, on both desktops and in mobile apps. It will specifically target people looking at listings online, using online mortgage calculators, and researching moving companies. If someone sees your listing on our website, they'll also be followed around with your home's ad. Just like Amazon might follow you around with that pair of shoes you were just looking at, we'll follow home buyers with your property, keeping your home in front of potential buyers wherever they go online. Finally, you'll receive a daily report showing how your home's ad is performing. You'll also receive a link to share on your social networks, letting your friends and family help spread the word about your listing. Feel confident that your home is in the best hands online and off, and list your home with us. We will truly work for you to get your home sold.
All right, so that's a cool little resource you guys can show at listing appointments to help kind of butter up some people a little bit. Now let me get to listing ads themselves. So
Where can you find that?
yep, that's going to be right here on this right-hand side on your homepage.
Oh, got you. Yes, I remember
Right
you.
below here under quick links. You'll also have access to this PDF. Just kind of has some keywords and stuff for you guys to say to clients.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. All right, so listings. Super simple process, just like the other ads. To start one, we're going to put either a listing address in or an MLS number, and it's going to pull information from online. Sometimes this does not pull the correct information, or it won't pull all the information. So you'll have to do it manually, but that's okay. Does anybody have a listing or an MLS number that they have active right now, and we can kind of create an ad?
Somebody does.
I know somebody's got to have one.
Anybody give us an MLS number?
You could also type it in the chat. That's fine too.
Bueller.
I think I found one.
Does anyone have a listing or an MLS number they would like to try? I can go to our website and just pull one, but I know all these people on here, they definitely have.
I did pull one, so I have one on standby if nobody else has.
I've got one.
Okay, perfect, Tara.
624-3783.
All right.
Thank you, Tara.
Well, thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
All right. So yeah, this is what happens sometimes with the MLS. It won't pull all the information. So then you can just come in here and manually do all this stuff. I was kind of hoping that it would work this time, but super simple process. Still, you guys still have the option to choose the 2 different templates and just upload your listing photo. It's going to have this little information about yourself with your photo. Again, guys, this is something I really want to harp on for any of these ads. Having a picture of yourself is like of the utmost importance. We're trying to create that connection and that human to human interaction. So having that picture is way more beneficial than you might think. So no matter what ads you run with us, I just want to reiterate, make sure you have a picture of yourself. Now, I think it's going to make me do a couple things in here. Yeah. I'm just going to put in some, Jordan, do you have a listing ad already up possibly? Hold on, guys. I might be able to find one real quick and make this easy. Sorry about that.
All good.
Just bear with me for 1 second. Okay. All right, we're back. So let me pull this up. All right, so this is going to be your targeting options for the listing ad. Now, Our recommendation, as you can see here, is going to be a 15-mile radius of the property itself. So what we do is whatever your property address is, we essentially drop a pin and then circle out 15 miles around that property. Anybody that is within that radius that searches those real estate related keywords again are going to be opted in and follow them around. You also have the option, typically we'll see sometimes with more expensive listings or really like high profile listings, the 15-mile radius usually is not enough. So we'll pick individual cities. So you can just come in here, super simple. And I could put in like Philadelphia, put in Durham. And it'll just add in these cities. Now, I wouldn't get a little trigger happy with these just because you don't want to spread yourself too thin. Remember, you're still working with a set amount of views. So if we're targeting a population density of 1 million people and we have 7,000 views, it's really not going to work that well. So we want to try to narrow down at least like one solid city if it's a bigger one or a couple small towns. Does that all make sense?
Yep.
Perfect. Jordan, anything to add about listings? Listings are very simple, guys. These are going to be on a per week basis too, not a 3-month or a year or anything like that.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yep, pretty straightforward. And I'm sure you're going to get into how it works. But yeah, week by week basis between 1 and 5 weeks.
Yep. Let me get to that now while we're talking about it.
So what is just I mean, I feel like maybe I have some sort of idea of the answer to my own question, but what if I did a 1-week campaign and then the very next day the house went under contract? What's the benefit of that 1-week campaign then after the fact, you know?
Yeah, I mean, multiple things. Number one would be just exposure for yourself again. You could always change, as you see it says up here, just listed. You could put it as under contract or just sold to kind of brag about yourself a little. Now, you could also, if you're like, hey, you know, I don't really want to have anything running anymore, you can cancel the ad. And let's say you did 2 weeks because it's $100 here. And after a full week, you decided to cancel that ad for that next week, you'll get $50 back to your account to use for another campaign later. So you'll get your prorated credit back. You can cancel at any time.
If it just stays running and I switch it to pending or under contract or whatever, am I still getting leads back to me while it's running?
So you're still getting those views. Again, you're not going to be getting any lead lists or anything from these, but you're still going to be getting that views and the exposure among that either the 15-mile radius, people that are searching, showing those behaviors, or within the specific cities, whichever targeting option you pick.
So when I do an ad as an agent and the consumer clicks on the ad for the listing, is it taking the consumer back to my website page where the ad is living, or where the listing is living? Like, where is it taking the consumer to if they click on it?
Yeah, so typically these are going to be set up as the listing itself. It'll either be like realtor.com listing, or it'll be the Zillow listing, or it'll be the listing on your website. But you can still set this to be whatever you want it to be. It doesn't have to be anything specific.
So it can be the listing from my website. Like, it can redirect the consumer back to my website, because then there is a chance that they will become an actual person that's a lead.
100%. Yep. Let me look at this question here.
Yeah, Kelly just asked.
Is that radius a geofencing radius that captures people on the move? It is, yes. So it is capturing people on the move as well.
Can you tell me, and just for those of us that don't know what the geofencing means, or capturing people on the move, what does that mean?
Yep. So geofencing would just be like within that 15-mile radius, we're going to draw an imaginary fence. And anybody that goes inside that fence, whether they're searching, as long as they're searching real estate, they can just be driving through when they do that search. They can be sitting in their home while they do that search. They can be in a store while they do that search. So long as they're in that radius for that time when they make that initial search, they're going to be captured within that. So let's say, for example, I go within your 15-mile radius and I look up homes for sale or whatever, and then I go halfway across the country on vacation the next day. That ad will still follow me around. It doesn't matter that I'm halfway across the country now. I did that initial search action and everything while I was in your area.
Oh, wow. Good question, Kelly. Going back to my last question about like when the consumer clicks on the ad, if I wanted it to go to my web page, would I just go to where it says destination page and click edit and then put in the listing address that is my web URL listing address?
Yep, correct.
Okay.
So right in here, edit, and right there. So once you're doing the setup of the ad too, when you go through the process of review ad, then Facebook and targeting options, this last option will be that enter website. So this is where you can change that. Now, let's say you start your ad and it starts out with the realtor.com listing. And a couple days in, you want to change it to your website's listing. You can always do that. You can change the destination pages just like you can change the ad edits whenever you want to. It does not matter.
Would there ever be a reason why I would want it to redirect the consumer to realtor.com instead of my own website listing page?
No.
Okay.
I typically would like to see it at your website.
Okay.
It's just a lot of people don't take the time to do that stuff.
Yeah.
So they just use the realtor.com listing or the Zillow listing or something like that.
Gotcha.
But yeah, if you guys are on top of it and have your listings on your website, I would much rather see that as your destination page.
Cool.
Jordan, anything to add about listings? I think that pretty much covers listings as a whole.
Yeah, you got it, man.
Perfect. Well, we'll just touch on one more thing here, which is streaming TV commercials. This is our newest product. I would say this is like our gold standard of advertising. Typically, this is the cherry on top after you're doing other touch points of ads. This is, like it says, streaming TV. So it's on places like Hulu, Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire. It's not going to be on like your Comcast, Xfinity, or Verizon or anything like that. Going to be on places like, let's see, top channels, ESPN again, Discovery, Food Network. As long as it's on the streaming services, it's where it could be.
I want to make one point here because what you're talking about right now, a lot of us that are on this call may or may not know this, but Century 21 as a whole actually advertises on a lot of those streaming services as well for the company to create brand awareness. So Hulu Digital, Disney Digital, YouTube, all of these same things that you're talking about, we do as a global company advertise there as well. And it has gone a long way in brand awareness for us, especially with millennial and Gen Z demographics of consumers, because that's where they live right now. You know, like that's where they're watching everything from. So this will be cool to see.
Definitely. Like I don't know when I had cable last. I can't remember the last time I had like watched anything on cable.
I still have it, and I'm afraid to like cut the cord. And my husband just texted this morning. He's like, I want to get rid of cable and just do streaming TV. And I'm like, oh my God, what will happen?
Yeah.
Nothing will happen probably. I'll have internet and I'll still have everything else with all of the apps, right? Nothing will happen.
But streaming TV, that now a good thing to note about this, guys, one thing I should mention is you're never going to get the graveyard shifts that nobody wants. These are primetime hours only. So what that consists of, let me make sure I pull this up and don't tell you the wrong times. Going to be 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. And 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. on weekdays. On the weekends, it'll be 10 a.m. through midnight. So only primetime viewing hours. It's never going to be in the middle of the day during the week or, 2 a.m. on the weekends or weekdays. Another good thing to note is that each household will only get one commercial view maximum per hour per day. So if I'm binge watching a show that's got a million commercials and it's only a 30-minute show, I'm not just going to see your ad continuously going every time. It's going to be a maximum of one per hour per day. How these are targeted are going to be similar to the geofencing. So we're going to drop a circle on a map that you guys get to choose. We'll actually put one up right here so you can see. I think the first part, actually, I might be getting ahead of myself. Yep, is going to be the ad design. So we already have templates in here for you guys to the point where you just have to upload name, phone number, picture of yourself, stuff like that. And I'll play this and show you what it sounds like, looks like.
Ever been in a balloon before?
It's our first time.
Hey.
Where are you going?
I'll see you at the landing!
But how will we...
The landing!
Your offer's been accepted. Ever bought a house before?
It's our first time.
All right.
Where are you going?
I'll see you at the closing!
But how will we...
The closing!
These are some of my favorite commercials that we have done because the hidden implication of the balloon, like we all know the balloon company, the hidden implication of the red door, and there's another one that they're in a cave, which I don't really think has a hidden implication at all.
We'll play
But
that one
I
next
love
after.
them. What?
We'll play the cave one next after this.
Okay.
Yeah, I love them too. They're really, really good designs.
We do have some new ones also. So is there a way for us to upload our own? Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
So upload your own commercial right there. So this is actually something I wanted to touch on because you guys can get really creative with this, just like the other ads too. So I have some agents that are primarily dealing with very luxury listings, multi-million-dollar properties only, and it takes a little bit more to sell those. What I have some of them do is they will create a little videography. They'll create a little short video that's 30 seconds long of the house with a voiceover of it. And I can show you guys an example. I had a client just send me one. And you can use that as your streaming TV commercial. So in between branding yourself, you could also maybe for a couple of weeks, upload a little video of a listing that you have and then take it down, brand yourself for a couple of weeks, then do a new listing and kind of have it running like that all the time. Now, next step is target areas. So as I was saying, this is going to be a geofencing. We're going to drop a circle on a map. We can drop multiple circles on this map, and anybody within those circles are going to be the people that see this ad. So we can do as small of a circle as a 1/4 mile, and we can do up to 50 miles. Now, obviously, 50 miles to get the views to account for that is going to be almost unaffordable. Typically, I am seeing around 5-mile radiuses to 10-mile radiuses at a max. So if I were to put this in here, I'll just drop it right on Mankato. And then after I've selected my areas, AdWerx has this really unique tool that after I've selected my areas on the map, when I go to select views, it analyzes the population density in this area that I picked out, and it's going to give me a recommendation on how many views I should have to account for that population. So like when I go here, this will say about 2,000 commercial views a month, likely because of the area that I picked out as a smaller population. What that accounts for to you, 2,000 commercial views a month, is 16.7 total hours of airtime throughout the entire month. And those are all within 30-second commercials. Obviously, you can up your views just like those other ads. You can go all the way up to 50,000. I would try to stay with whatever the recommendation is. As you bump up, because of a population not being there, you might not get the views that you're allotted. And if you go down, you're just kind of slimming out your exposure at that point. So I would take the recommendation pretty seriously. TV on the quarterly side is going to be right around $1,000 and the annual right around $3,600. Typically, I'm seeing TV campaigns run for quarterly bases more than I am annual bases. Like the other ads, I would really only suggest annual for them. TV, you can do on the quarterly basis. I'm typically seeing people that will do them towards the colder months, like now as it's starting to get a little bit cooler and people are coming inside more. I'm starting to see more TV campaigns going up. In the summertime, rarely any because people just aren't inside that much. Jordan, anything to add about TV?
Yeah, I love that you said we generally see TV as kind of like the cherry on top. You know, there's just a coolness factor to being on TV that's always been there and it always will be there. So that's an important thing to highlight. You know, you're coming up alongside movie stars and people who are watching their favorite streaming TV stars and all of these things. Your commercial is popping up in the middle of that. You know, that stands out to a person. It's super cool. I still remember my dad had a commercial when I was super young, and I still, to this day, I still tell people that my dad was in a commercial just because it was cool. So it's definitely one of those things that adds to your brand. It adds credibility to your brand because people know, you know, it's not the easiest thing to be on TV, and specifically these streaming platforms.
Mhm. Definitely. Thank you, Jordan. Any questions about TV, guys?
Not about TV. That is really cool though. Since we have like a few more minutes, could we look at retargeting too? And then we've just covered them all basically.
Yep. So let me touch real quick so you guys don't get confused. Ads for recruiting, this is going to be just for brokers. It's essentially the exact same thing as ads for your sphere. You upload a list of contacts. There's nothing different there. Retargeting, this one is one that typically on the team Jordan and I are on, we don't really set these up that often. The way that these work is that when somebody visits your individual website, whatever you deem to be your individual website, this little retargeting ad will follow them around for the next week to 2 weeks, but they have to take that initial action of going to whatever your specific website or landing page is. As far as ad design is concerned, it's going to be pretty much the exact same choices as the other ones. How this would work is you would be emailed a pixel that you would put on your website, and then that pixel would be used to track those people that go to your website.
Huh. Interesting. So you just pulled up some little thing that said like identify, target, and remind.
Right here. So under this, learn more.
Can you scroll just a little? There it goes. Identify, target, and remind. So that's basically what this does. They're gonna, since they went to the website, then it targets them. And then as they go to other places, then that ad pops up again. It's like the shoes from Amazon, kind of.
Exactly like the shoes from Amazon. Yep. That was actually the exact example I was going to use, was the shoes from Amazon.
Cool.
But yeah, that's retargeting. Very simple to set up. That covers pretty much everything, guys. I know we've got about 5 minutes left of allotted time. I have a little bit of time after that too. I think Jordan does as well. We'll just open the floor to any questions you guys have. I really appreciate the time everybody spent taking this out today. And Dana, thank you so much for organizing this.
This was great. This was so informative. I mean, really informative. It sheds a lot of light on how this could be used and how it's beneficial and like what it all means, you know? I think we look at it sometimes and we're like, AdWerx, what does that mean? Well, ads on your phone. Well, what does that mean? Like this just really made it make sense. So thank you both.
Yeah, of course. We're glad to do it.
Absolutely. And just something to highlight too, as Harrison pointed out, you'll all have account managers, and that's Harrison and I. If you're confused about things, don't try to just figure it out on your own and end up setting up a campaign that's not right for you. Like we would love to talk to you, make sure that you have the right campaign, talk through strategy, make sure that it makes sense. Because ultimately, again, we want to make sure that it's the best thing for your business and you know exactly what you're getting. And then we can over deliver for you and answer all your questions along the way.
Definitely. I know we introduced ourselves as sales reps, but we're mostly here as a consultant, a strategist for you. So we're not just trying to take your money.
And I think you've proven like coming to you for help with the goal. Like, what's the goal? You guys would really be able to say, okay, then this is what I think would work for you. So that's, I mean, you've given me at least a lot of confidence in that area because I wouldn't know. I would look at all those things and just think one thing, but maybe that wouldn't be the right campaign to choose given my goal. So that's helpful to know.
Perfect. Well, Jordan, you can stop recording. Maybe there's questions that want to be answered not recorded. It's okay if there's no questions either, guys.